to bring it, serious again, that your wife obviously had some traumatic times in her childhood, right? And as did her parents. And so how that leads to emergency thinking, if you will, and emergency acting. And then that stuff gets coded into us and shows up as adults. And so
Yeah.
that's how we keep therapists employed and living large.
Absolutely. And I believe that one of the most important things in a relationship between two partners is the opportunity to grow through a healing journey together. And I think that's one of the things that has been the strongest in our relationship, is that we have confronted these things and we have worked through them. We have found common ground on the other side. And I think that's so important then when you can model that to your children, because you then show your children how to go through conflict resolution and pass those techniques and skills on to them.
Yeah. I think that transparency and a studied transparency, right? We obviously don't
Mm-hmm.
share everything with our kids. To model for our kids, yeah, there are hard times and we work on them, right? Versus models I saw from my parents, which was they never talked about it, but I heard them fighting. And so that again creates a sense of fear and instability, particularly when I never hear how the fight was mediated or how they made up or what agreements
Yeah,
were
you
made
only
through that.
experience the conflict. You don't experience the
Yes.
resolution in that scenario.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an interesting insight.
I think at the time we knew that our kids would need extra support because they came from poverty. They were both premature. Birth mother and fathers had decided not to keep them and really couldn't, right? And so we knew that our kids would need extra support, but we were under the illusion that love and care and commitment can solve it all. And that's
Only in a
just,
Disney movie.
yeah, yeah. It wasn't true. And it still
Yeah.
is not true. And what we now know is that early infancy trauma, and my kids are lucky they have not experienced abuse, but, being in NICU for a long period of time, not being held all the time, a very different way of coming into the world than we're so excited you're here. We've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
We've been
Yeah.
planning for you, right? That creates incredible challenge because your brain is being wired at the time and your brain is wired in emergency. And
Yeah.
so what I find with both of our kids is that their alarm instinct, their fight flight is on a hair trigger. Is that how we say this?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so something happens that for you and me, or neurotypical, a kid with a calmer entrance into the world, would be a bummer, right?
Mm.
So no, you can't have a slushie. Oh
Yeah.
no, we can't find that toy, right? Oh, the play date you wanted you thought it was for today, it's actually for tomorrow. That can go into DEFCON 4 for my kids.
Oof.
Right. And so like
Yeah.
screaming, throwing things, we have had to learn is how to support our kids going when they go into that fight flight in a way that's very different from how I was threatened and suppressed when I did
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah.
Because I was also a big feeling, impulsively behaving kid,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though I had a very calm entry into the world, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't at the level of my own kids. And so how to overcome the instinct that I have generationally to correct my kids' behavior right away, to one of understanding that they are in crisis mode, even though I see the reason for that crisis mode as being the stupidest thing I've ever experienced, right? That for me to be able to show up for them and say, like, I get it, that is such a bummer. And through my own actions, show how one can stay calm and re-regulate
Yeah.
in this time, and then get to a place later where we can actually try to focus on the issue, make promises about getting a slushie tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? Or whatever the thing is, or can we offer you something that's healthier, right? Whatever that thing is. But it's a very different approach to parenting, and it is not one that came naturally for me because of my background. It's something that I've had to learn.
And I'm a big fan of stoicism as a very important anchor in life. And Ryan Holiday wrote the book, The Obstacle is the Way. Very clear that you have embraced the obstacles that have been put in front of you as a way to create a very positive impact on yourself, your family, and the rest of the world around you. It's remarkable.
I don't know what stoicism is, so if all your listeners do, I can look it up later, but do you want to give it in a nutshell?
Sure. Stoicism is essentially that philosophy that the hardest things that we face in life are actually the opportunities for growth. The hardest
Oh,
obstacles that we see in front of us are actually the opportunity for innovation and evolution to solve those obstacles and those challenges. And so it's a philosophy that is embracing those obstacles that come our way, the hardships, the challenges, by recognizing them as some of the most important forces in life to help us get to the other side and to help us grow and improve as individuals.